Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to film a full glam makeup look. It's kind of going to be a get ready with me and kind of go through the products that I use if I want something to last all day, all night. I'm going to a wedding where I'm going to be doing like a full glam. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Okay, to start with, I've moisturised my face. My skin is actually feeling quite good at the moment. I've put my SPF on, done all my skincare, so I'm going to be starting with the VIEVE Skin Nova. I used this before, I think in my first video. It's like a primer and skincare hybrid. It makes the skin just feel really hydrated and gives like a really nice glow. I do have quite dry skin, so the extra hydration helps a lot. As you can see, it's just given nice glow to the skin. Next I'm going to go in with the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. This is everyone's favourite product. There's so many dupes out there. I really want to try the e.l.f. one, but I've just had this for so long and it's literally, I've had it for a while and it's not run out, so I kind of want to wait till it's empty before I start buying and trying out like similar versions if that one is good. I do want to do a full face of e.l.f. e.l.f. have so many really good dupes, so it's going to be like kind of like a dupe but e.l.f. affordable video. So when I do that, maybe I'll get the, I don't know what it's called, but you would have seen it everywhere on TikTok. I'm just taking my foundation brush. This is from Morphe, it's the E63, my favourite foundation brush. I use this for both my foundation and my primer. I love full glam. I'm very excited to be getting ready today. I think getting ready and just going full glam for me is part of the fun of where you're going. If I'm going on a night out, the getting ready part is sometimes just as fun as being out. I think looking and feeling your best, not that you need makeup to look and feel your best, but a full glam definitely helps me feel great. Okay, so primer's all done and the Flawless Filter is on, and I think my skin looks nice and radiant. For foundation, I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in Mont Blanc. This stays put. This is my go-to full coverage foundation, and I just know it's not going to budge. I'm actually going to apply this with a Real Techniques sponge. I'm going to take just a few pumps. Most of the time I like to use a brush because I just find it easier, but when it's full glam I do think a sponge gives you like a more even, like airbrush feel, even though I feel like you get slightly less coverage with a sponge. I think the actual finish is nicer. And I have Mont Blanc in all of my NARS foundations, but I don't find that they're the same colour. This one I think is a little bit warmer than the other two that I have. The other two Mont Blancs are just a tiny bit more neutral. It's not a massive problem, but it's nice when you buy one shade and one foundation from a brand and it's the same across like everything. It's a tiny bit annoying that they're not like an identical kind of shade. I think Fenty are quite good at keeping the shades like universal across their lines. My hair, I'm actually going to be wearing my hair up. I won't show you how I do it, but I will maybe do the outro with my hair done so you can kind of see the look. I'm wearing like black and gold, so I'm going to go for a little bit of like a bronzy look today. Foundation has gone on lovely. I don't think I'm going to do another layer. Sometimes I like to put a little bit more in the centre, but I think I'm going to use two different types of concealer, and I think that will do the job to just add a tiny bit more coverage. Okay, so I'm going to be using two concealers today. I have the Nude Sticks in Nude 2, which is the Nude Stick Creamy Concealer. This is my favourite concealer for keeping my eyes not creasing and hydrated, but I do love this HMB Cosmetics concealer by Holly Boone's brand. I have her powder that is one of my favourites, like a loose powder. This is a bit too full coverage for me. I've got it in SF 0.5N. If I just use this, it's too cakey, so I use this mostly, and then I kind of add a bit of this for the brightness. Even though I like full coverage when I'm doing full glam, I don't want to feel it to feel heavy, so I think by mixing the two I kind of get around that. As it's full glam, I'm going to apply quite a bit underneath the eyes, just in the placement that we always do. So underneath the eyes, down the nose, a tiny bit on the forehead, and I've got a few marks on my chin, so I'm just going to go in a bit heavy there. I'm going to let this sit for just a few seconds, and I'm going to apply, this has got a really nice large applicator. I'm just going to apply this over the top and just basically in the corners. I'm going to go back in with the Nude Sticks actually and just apply a tiny bit on my laughter lines. I'm going to take the sponge again, and I'm just going to blend all of this in. Again, I sometimes use, like day to day, I use a brush for my concealer, but with my full glam I really want the positioning to be a bit more controlled and a bit more airbrushed, and I find I could do that with the sponge. I'm going to add a tiny bit more of the Holly Boone just on the end of my nose, and just a tiny bit more under the eyes, chin and forehead, just because I do want this to be full coverage. Just going to moisturise my lips with the MAC lip conditioner. I think I used this in my first video. Just keeps the lips nice and hydrated without feeling heavy. I got some new lip products that they're not new, but they're new to me. I got they were out of stock for ages and they've just came back in. It's the REFY lip pencil things. So I've got those, and I've got the gloss, but I think I'm going to go for a matte lip today, but I'm excited to try those. Right, so concealer's all done, base is looking nice. Next I'm gonna bronze with the XX Revolution cream bronzer in Inspire, which is a nice, it's not super neutral. I'm going to take this Ariel kind of flat kabuki brush in A24, and I'm just going to use this to bronze up the face. I want to go for kind of a bronzy blown out look, so I'm not going to do any kind of harsh contouring. I'm just going to really bronze up the sides of my face, a little bit up here. I find for the best kind of full glam, it's all about like layering. So cream, then powder, and kind of setting in between with setting sprays and that kind of thing. I'll probably be doing some dancing, so I need this to last onto a tiny bit on my nose, just to bronze up that. Bronzer is done. Even though I said I'm not going to do any harsh contour, I'm going to do a tiny bit of sculpting with the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. All I do with this is I literally look at my face and I pick out that where my hollows are, and I just do a tiny dot. So as you can see on my face, I've literally just picked where my natural cheekbone goes in, and I'm taking just a fluffy brush. This is for the Ariel and Morphe collab, and it's the A58. I'm not moving the product around, I'm literally just bouncing. So I've just was bouncing that up and down, and literally just giving me that tiny bit of contour, which is just sculpting my face. So I'm going to do the same on this side, so look where it naturally is, about there. On some people it can be higher, lower, it's all kind of just following your same face shape, and I'm going to just again bounce that in. Don't know if it's picking up, but it's just given me that tiny bit more structure and contour, but without being super like liney. Okay, so next we're going to set underneath the eyes. I'm just going to go back over, and I like quite a matte look. This is the HNB Cosmetics Soft Focus Loose Powder in Translucent, and I'm going to take a powder puff. I got this from Beauty Bay, I think. This powder is kind of going everywhere. So I'm just going to take it on my fingers. I like to just pat it a tiny bit on my hand just to spread it around a bit evenly, and I'm just going to push this under. Same with the other side, so pick some up, tap it on the back of my hand, and again just focus it under the eyes and just my T-zone tiny bit, because I'm going to go set my face with some other powder in a minute. And as you can see, that's just really brightened up and smoothed my under eye. I am going to set my bronzer with the Film Star Bronzer and Glow by Charlotte Tilbury. I've hit pan on this contoury bronzer, and I'm just going to take this kabuki brush from NARS and I'm just going to set that contour and bronzer. This is my favourite like tone of bronzer contour. I really wish they made it in the big pan. I find the bigger pans a lot more warmer, so I do wish they did this individually. Set up the top as well. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury. This sounds like a Charlotte Tilbury video, but I just happen to love their products. But this, I'm going to set my face with the AIRBRUSH Flawless Finish, and this is in Fair. I've also hit pan with this, and I'm just going to take a little kind of face brush. This is the A3.2 Ariel and Morphe collab, and I'm just going to set all of those kind of places that I didn't set with the face powder. Like I said, I quite like a matte look, so, and it's quite hot today, so if I want it to stay in place, powder is the one. Okay, so now a little trick that I learned is to set the powder, and then I'm going to apply a tiny bit more. It sounds like a lot, and it sounds like it's going to be really heavy, but it's not. I think that this allows everything to kind of melt in, and then adding that extra layer of powder on top just kind of like firms it, locks it in place. So again, Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Flawless Setting Spray. So I'm just going to spray all over. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. And now once this is semi-dry, I'm going to go back in with my powder puff. Taking a bit less this time, and just really going over my under eyes, and then taking the setting powder again and just going back over my T-zone. And I just find that this is the best way to keep your foundation and powder where you want it. And lastly, now I've applied that powder, so I'm very matte, I'm going to take the VIEVE Dimensions Face Palette and do a baby bit, like literally the tiniest bit of this, and I'm going to put it quite high. And this I don't mind using because it's very like corally, so it goes with that kind of bronze look, but I'm not doing anything down here. I just want a hint of colour where it's kind of blown out. I'm going to do a tad on my nose, but nothing crazy. Next I'm going to take the highlighter. I'm not going to put on a lot of this. I'm just going to take this fluffy brush, A22 from the Morphe Ariel, and just take a tiny bit of this and just dust that. Just adds a hint of glow. Tiny bit on my nose. Next I'm going to move on to eyebrows, eyes. So I'm going to zoom you in for this. Okay, so then for eyebrows, I'm going to take Benefit, got the 24-hour brow setter and the 3D brow tones. This is in 4 and then this is clear. So I am just going to run this through my brows. I do want them to be quite structured today. When I wear my hair up, I feel like having strong brows adds to the look. My brows are very stubborn, so, but I did laminate them myself. I thought my eyebrows were gonna fall off. I've done it a few times and it's not really worked, but this time I left it on for a while. But this is one of the best ones that I find that doesn't leave kind of white bits or residue. So I'm going to leave those two kind of set a bit and just keep kind of brushing up and through. Okay, now that they have dried a tiny bit, I'm going to take the BROWTONES, which is like a little, and I'm just going to go back over where I went with the 24-hour brow setter and just kind of keep pushing up. Okay, here we are with the brows done. They're kind of big, but because my hair's going to be up, I feel like big brows are the way to go. Okay, so next we're going to move on to eyes. I have two palettes. I've got the VIEVE Essential palette and then my Ride or Die Revolution palette. I think I'm just going to do a really blown out brown smoky eye, which is nothing original, but I think it's going to look, I might do a bit of like antique bronze because my dress has got a bit of gold in it. This eye primer that I use is the VIEVE Eye Wand and Vanilla, so I just put this all over. And this really helps my eyeshadow to stay where it should be, and it's just a great blank canvas. I'm going to start with taking this NYX Professional, just like a buffing brush, doesn't have a name on it, and I'm going to start with taking REFY. I'm just going to kind of buff that all over the eye. Got a slight tint to it, but it's nothing crazy. Next I'm going to go into the crease with a mix of Chic and Desire, so I'm going to kind of mix these into the crease. Okay, so I'm putting those two colours through my crease and kind of bringing it out. Great. Now I'm going to move on to the VIEVE palette, and I'm going to take I'm going to take Lava Rock and this kind of brown. These are very pigmented, so I literally just take a tiny bit, and I'm literally just in the corner just going to dab. You can see how pigmented it is, just to add a really dark kind of corner. As you can see, it's just created a really nice kind of, I've got kind of a dark outer, darker inner, and then I've got space for my shimmer. And then I take a clean brush, like a big fluffy one, and I just literally go back in with Chic, and I kind of just buff around all the edges. Okay, so that is kind of done. I'm going to take, I was going to take a gold from the Revolution palette, but I'm actually gonna take Thea, this kind of antique gold. I might mix Carrot and Thea together, these two golds, because my dress is quite gold, so I want to kind of go all out. don't know if you can see that's just added like a really nice gold wash. I'm actually going to take some of this gold from the Revolution. This is the Forever Flawless Timeless Fantasy. I'm just going to take a hint and put this on the inner corner just because I know that this has a kind of, I guess, a goldier base. Now we have the eyes. I'm going to then kind of take another brush like I just had, but a clean one, and kind of all those colours I've just used, so the Chic and the Desire, and just run that underneath. I quite like to bring the shadows quite, not super low, but low-ish, just to make it look a bit grungier. Next I'm going to take a dark brown like pencil and just run that in my waterline. This one's from Beauty Bay. Any kind of brown work just to deepen up the bottom. And I'm now going to just go and use the magnetic, their real magnet from Benefit, just on my lashes. Okay, I'm really happy with how they look. Now I'm gonna do lashes. I'm gonna do half lashes so they kind of feather out the edge. I don't know what this style is called, but I know they're from Babe Beauty. I have some other ones from them, but the ones I'm going to use today are like quite thick half lashes. Don't know what they're called, but I'll link her like website where she's got them all down below. As I do with all my videos, I'm going to link everything I've used in the description, just so you can find everything easy. And I'm going to use the duo glue just to pop these on. Right, so pop those on, and I've got this little eyelash tweezer thing from VIEVE. I did get some half lashes from them, but they weren't as like dramatic as some of the ones from Babe Beauty. And with this you can just really grab the band. Lashes are done, the skin is done. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Brows are still, they're not as fluffy as they were, but they're definitely still raised, which is good. And next we're going to move on to lips. I got two of these kind of, they're like lip liners, and then you set them from REFY. They kind of blew up and then they went out of stock for like months. So yeah, I'm going to take, I've got taupe and fawn. Fawn is slightly darker. I'm going to take taupe and just run this all over my lip. These are super creamy, and I like how pointy the wand is. This colour is like the perfect brown. It's a little warm. I wish it was a tiny bit cooler. I think that looks really nice. It's semi-sticky. Not sticky, that's the wrong word, but it's not like emollient, it's very like matte. I'm going to take MAC Peachstock, which is like a lighter nude, and just put that in the middle. And then I'm going to take the setter and kind of set down both of those. And there we have the makeup, like a bronzy, goldy, full beat that is hopefully going to last me hours. I'm going to go away, I'm going to do my hair, and then I'll show you the full look all together. Here we are with all my hair all done. So I kind of just pushed it back, and I have one of those like scrunchy things from Lulabelle's, which just creates this almost, this is what I try to channel, but kind of Pamela Anderson tousled, thrown up, messy bun. But really happy with how makeup turned out. Hair I think is fun, and then I will be wearing like a gold and black dress, and I'll have pictures on my Instagram if you want to have a little nosy. I'll leave all my information down below. I hope you liked watching this transformation as much as I enjoyed doing it. But yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully see you soon.